Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob, and today we are going to be continuing the narration and character voicing for the Narration side story in Arknights. And unlike the usual style that I like doing these openings on episodes 2 and going onward, I will not be doing the recap for part 1 and going on with future episodes here, considering I'll be churning these out pretty much on a daily basis, roughly, so no need to do that, right? And the story is dense anyway already, so I don't need to add any more to that. But anyway, before we begin, just in general, I want to add here, before we start, first off, thank you for all the likes and comments on the previous episode. And for anybody new bumping into this for the first time, a playlist for the entire side story will be in the description of the video. And also the playlist for the previous stories in this timeline, being the Margaret Nearl story, continued by the Pinus Sylvestries side story, then this side story, and then the Mliner story that was just recently released, are all pretty much in order from top to bottom if you want to have the entire experience in one go. Obviously this is an ongoing series as of yet, but we'll be finishing it at one point. But yeah, anyway, everything is in the description and much more. But let us begin with today's part. So last time we have covered the initial cutscene and stage 1, and we already were like an hour and 20 with that entire episode. But today we're gonna be continuing on from stage number 2, titled Last Ditch Thrust. A person full of faith towards life, a person who harbors malice towards all. In both their hearts is a thorn of resentment, one that stabs at their desires or perhaps any other bit of consciousness. Damn you, infected! With the nerve to... Go on, leave. You don't deserve to be here. I'll drag you out of the scoring pen at least. That's fine. I've still got my points. Is that right, aripathic filth? Ingra. That's it, Brasros. Keep it up. Get him out of the scoring pen. Break his hand. Keep going. Don't let that infected get away. How about someone breaks your head? Shh. Keep it down. Look at the seats over there. Huh? Why is she all alone? Infected night seating? Not too loud. She was looking this way earlier. Aren't there divider walls between the seats? She can't hear anything, right? Besides, you think an infected would have the guts to climb over here to get at me? She probably would. This is a knight's swordsmanship, Ingra. All that blunt movement of yours really is unwatchable. Infected refuse daring to lecture me. Wait until I've flayed you and pulled your bones apart. Then you'll regret it. He really is no brains, old brawn. I just need to wait while he loses his cool. Oh, here he comes. God damn it, infected trash. Trash? Why do I feel like it's you knights resting on your laurels who can't stand the heat? He can push me off? No, your tiny little play sword could never. Is it arts technique, wind arts, or just pure driving strength? Would I ever tell you, Olmer Ingra? You, take this! Wait, what? It really was wind. It seems it's only good enough to bolster your movements, far short of what deranged things the Wind Knight can pull. Analysis, so he isn't just a simple-minded moron. Infected, that sword of yours has no arts unit. You still cast disgusting. The arts given to you by the originium in your organs will not change the outcome of this. The rotten Blood Knight is the same. Just because some infected knights have cobbled together a false renown, he forces the common folk to recognize the infected. The Adeptus Praviltively have been just too kind to you all. Know how grateful you should be, or apathic filth. Grateful? To you lot? Such attitude. The infected crawling and struggling along Casimir's lowest layers, you genuinely dare to cast contempt on the Knight Nobles. Do you know the price the infected pay for our legal emancipation? Huh. Why should I know? I only know your coming death will be wretched. Do you know how brutal a female Gloompincer is when it's been snatched from its egg? Do you know when infected knights are selected, the tacit homicide that happens? Oh, your coming death will be wretched. Big words on Ingra. You just relish in bullying the weak. It's a miracle you have the guts to step into a death match. Have you seen what happens to all of the lives deemed cheap? You Knight Noble filth. There's only 5 still standing their ground in the scoring pen? Could I spend all my savings on this bet, and that idiot doesn't even touch the pen for half an hour? Why is there still infected? Are they fighting Brass Trust, Ingra? Hey, get rid of that filthy asshole, Ingra! Chanting Ingra. What was that? An earthquake? No, it's that infected knight over there. She stomped the ground something fierce just now. These dumbasses. Starting to gang up on the infected, huh? How's that? Are you hurting now, Ingra? But am I being surrounded? Infected. You have no right to be here. Forfeit, infected. I don't like how Ingra does things, but neither my nightclub nor my family would stand for the humiliation of an infected sharing the podium. You love a good excuse, don't you? Don't get me wrong, only one can stand in the scoring pen in the end. This is a brawl, infected, but right now you've made yourself the prime target. Heartless wretches. Once I dispose of this infected, you're all next. Sir Ingra, I'm wounded and would be hard-pressed to vie for the title, but at least for the moment we should work together to topple that infected slave. These depraved infected with the gall to talk their tripe at nights. You all know of the disturbance the infected caused before, don't you? Pinus Sylvestries nightclub always was a suspicious lot. Rumor has it they orchestrated the illegal infected congregations, exploiting the riches from winning alongside us to harm the safety of Cavallerielki, and even Casimir's in a hole. Should we be indulging such action? Illegal infected? All I saw was a tragedy of people without a home, a tragedy of people dumped out of the factories, the farms, and the beast ranches. Less of the row, infected. If that's how you truly see it, you ought to go on your merry way back to the infected shelters. No need to stay here, overwhelmed as you are. Let's be brutally honest. You ache to put every knight to death, don't you? You're welling with rage, gasping for vengeance, aren't you? Then what are you waiting for? You... Cur, I'll cleave your hand off and slap you awake with it. No, I can't stay any longer in this fight. I need to... Not today. You lot. Get out of my... Damn it, what are you people doing? Not but standing here. You have nowhere to run this time. Oh, your armor is up to snuff. That blow should have cleaved your spine in twain. I don't understand why the Knight Association would allow your lot into the Major. Isn't your blood a deadly toxin? Enough. Infected, get out of here. Just give up. You've already been gravely wounded. Anymore, and you'll never win another match. Shut up! You people, sanctimonious thugs! Sanctimonious? Is that what you think of me? We'll see how long you can keep up the sniveling little traitor act. You'll be kneeling, begging for forgiveness.
Hey, where are the judges? What the hell is this? Are these knights gonna just ring up their own shit show right here?
The crowd chanting Ingra. Long live Brassrust, long live Casimirs, long live the knights!
Get the infected up. Make him get up. Get him on his feet. Keep him fighting. Let's see how tough he really is.
But what the? Stay away from me, alright? Alright?
What say I toss you down there? Get your close to the action, huh?
Wait, you? What are you doing? Are you a knight and you're gonna assault the audience?
What? Where's security? Security, there's an infected assaulting civilians. You son of a bitch!
You still have strength in you. That's close enough, Brassrust. He's liable to die. He might be infected, but still a registered knight. We don't need the National Council pestering us over an infected. What are you gesturing at me for, huh? Who do you think you are? One of us has to lose, Brassrust. There's only one victor in this match. Exactly what I... What is this? Wind? You still intend to resist? You... You know, an electric fan destined for junk blows more of a breeze than you do, infected. What's the matter? You'll regret this. Oh. Has he a death wish? The wind's picked up. He's still got strength. You... All of you... Hey, look at the infected. What's he doing? Is he casting arts?
You... Arts? No. He can't keep this up.
Ingra, and the rest of you. None of you have the first idea what the infected have to go through. Did we get a rip of it because we wanted it? Families abandoned us. Fellow soldiers abandoned us. You people threw us into the beast arenas like trash to bleed alongside starving gloom pincers. I'll have you. I'll die here. Right. This is an arena. A major arena. But in the end, it was only ever built to hold greater and greater show tournaments. No. No matter where it is, what does it matter when an infected has an accident? Don't resist, and I really will be beaten wide awake to death. That's right. I need to resist. There's nothing left but to resist. I'll make you pay in blood! The wind's getting stronger. If I hang around here, come soon enough I won't be beating any of you. My nightclub superiors will understand. I was thinking I'd win by playing the bystander. If there's no choice, I'm out. I'm out. You deal with this yourselves. Infected can cast without an arts unit. That's unfair. I'll be reporting to Northwood Night Order. Infected have to be constrained. We should withdraw for now, Brassrust. Brassrust? Not a sound. He wants to kill me. Waste his very life on these arts so he can humiliate me. No, you can't run. Why would I ever run? I'll tear your miserable arts and that face of yours into pieces and dance with your blood under my boots. Come, Unmentionable infected!
I'll do you in. I'll... Oh. When we divorced, was she the one who got the photo album? Shame. I won't get to see my precious. What happened? Right at the end there. Did the wind stop? Then Brassra's hatchet, it... No, shit!
Such a floundering outburst. Where did it get you? What's the matter, infected? Spent at the last moment? Your mockery's off. Hold on. Is he dead?
The infected died? But... Get the medics here, now! This is an arena, an infected on this scale. Brassras, get away from him.
He died? He tried casting the painful burst of arts and died. This is why you infected all.
Please vacate the arena, Brassras Knight, sir. The medics are stopping in. When we're sure there's no risk of contagion, we'll transport him in a sealed container.
Pinus Sylvestries, do you want every knight here your enemy? Well...
Put him down! We're taking these precautions for the safety of the rest of the knights as well as the audience. Please comply. Brassras, sir, please make your way out.
Filthy knight. I certainly don't want my life ruined by ripathy.
Are you infected too? Please calm down, this is a major. Can't you see he's still got life in him? Move! Now! Steady, are you looking to provoke the Knight Association? Leave him to the medics personnel. Let me over! Leave her be, she's infected too. Get the audience evacuated first. Are you alright?
Not exactly. Bloodlust. Least of my problems. Aches in my infected spots. There's spreading. Hurts.
Dear visitors, there has been an incident in the arena. We ask that you follow staff instructions for a prompt evacuation. The award ceremony will be postponed by 2 hours. We repeat, dear visitors.
Wildmane.
Go on.
Please. You have to.
Soon I'll find your wife and girl. Don't worry. Look, the Originium is spreading across him. We can't wait any longer. Put him in the container now. What are you doing? Preventing the infection.
You damned. Iwana. Remember their faces. Remember these knights. These Casimirians. These cold-blooded murderers. Don't let them get away with it. It's your turn. Deal already. What's your rush? Just let me think. What have you got to think about with that few cards left?
We now report on an urgent news story. An accident occurred at a Capture the Flag event today as a part of the major short tournament. An infected knight concealed his condition before the competition and sustained heavy injuries during the match, all while forcing Originium arts. Went into shock partway through the event and passed away after aid provided proved ineffective.
Infected. Passed away. Died. Died on the field.
According to reports, medical personnel on the scene have finished cleanup of the field, and the arena will return to normal use following decontamination. With only 3 hours since the incident, the National Council have already received mass complaints and look to revise the Infected Knights Act. Revise the act? Pull the other one. They're just petrified of owning up. When the Blood Knight came about, they were pressured to recognize Infected as legitimate. If they fiddle with the laws now, how are they going to save their reputation? The question of the Infected's no child's game. You think reputation could affect their policy making? Was the Knight Noble's reputation ever any worse? Decades ago? Times are different. I can't say I know what they're thinking now, but no matter whereabouts, enforcing the rules takes priority over any objective results. We've all suffered for it. Cleanup has been completed. All knights who took part in the will be given a medical examination within the next 3 days. With regard to this incident, the Knight Association is paying a correspondingly high amount of attention. Currently, several nightclubs have consigned a statement to the association on the accidental deaths of infected, uncontrollable Reginiumarts, as well as the risk of large-scale infection breaking out during the major. Huh. No problems, Maria. Your adjustments to the weapon core are perfect. It's been a long while now since I've wielded something so effortlessly smooth. I made them especially based on your past fights, after all. By the way, I will is a very strange thing here, and I think it's a typo, and should be maybe thank you? So, allow me to change it to thank you, I guess. Because she's gonna say that again, so I'm guessing it's a typo here. So whatever. If we're done with all the theory, we'll want a little practical combat to try things out. Maria, keep to one side. Okay. You take it easy now, you take it easy now, both of you. I will. See what I mean? So I think that I will earlier is a typo. My, that's a good look in your eyes, Margaret. This is for real now. If you throw, my self-respect will be very sore for it. Of course. Now then. Accordingly, we have invited numerous experts on knight competition to publish their own views. We now go to the Knight Association officer in charge. Good morning, people of Casimir's. Infected can cast without an arts unit. This is known to medical science. But in the arena, such an ability is exceedingly unfair. Fairness. Maria thinking back on her previous opponents and events. Fairness, huh? And surmounting the rule setters within their own rules. Lunatic ravings. Careful. Are you alright? I'm fine. Now, let go. I'm sorry. It's been a while since I used a weapon with a handle this long. I'm still not quite perfect at exercising it. Maria? What are you laughing at? I'm sorry. Sorry. Margaret, you really have changed. Have I? I don't mean your appearance. Your hair's all messy now. Come here, I'll comb it straight for you. Maria, bring the comb over. It's behind your work table. Okay. Let's sit and take a moment to breathe. Alright, thank you. Honestly, it feels like it's only been a blink of an eye since you left. The blink of an eye, and you'll be even farther away from us. According to reports, the deceased infected appeared to be implicated in the illegal infected incident. The relevant circumstances are still under investigation. The Knight Association promises that an incident this minor absolutely will not affect the course of the major schedule. Sophia, that's Ingra again, is it? For him to be killing on the field, though. A voice on the display. Currently, visitors to events involving infected knights are asking for the Knight Association to resolve the situation. At the same time, Brass Trust Olmer Ingra and several other knights who were directly involved in this event have taken interviews. Are you listening, Mr. Malkiewicz? Oh, sorry, Jewel. Carry on. Yes, sir. Actually, there are forms from the Knight Association, with the personal details and noteworthy points for all Grand Knights taking part in this time. The General Chamber would rather not ruin relations with these stars, so they are hoping we can be more attentive. Let me see. They're all established athletes. Oh, the Radiant Knight really is here too. Does this Nightmare Knight not have a nightclub affiliation? I thought the Radiant Knight was the only case of an independent qualifying for the major. And besides Nightmare Knight, aren't the Grand Knight's titles usually less of a mouthful? And he doesn't have the either. He's not one of the Grand Knights then. So what's so special about him? Ah, this one. He's been a great pain for the Knight Association to handle. I don't entirely know what's up, but he doesn't care a single bit about knight titles or any such thing, and brushes off all arrangements the General Chamber makes, but he isn't deliberately disobedient either. He's a weird one. A weird one, huh? Yes, sir, but there's no doubt about his strength. And besides, I don't know why, but it seems some knight families are extremely curious about his identity. They've tried asking the association countless times already. But we're not too clear on what's going on with him either. Things suggest he came from some rural area near Sargon. Mr. Malkiewicz? I understand. You're free to go. Yes, sir. Oh, one thing, Jewel. What is it? I'm still the same Malkiewicz you know, so no need to be so reserved with me. I'm not used to it. As you wish. I mean, understood, Miss Malkiewicz. How should the National Council rule? With a severe incident on the inaugural day of the Major, what can the Knight Association do to respond? After this commercial break, we'll be bringing you a live broadcast of the Knight Association press conference. A jingle plays. Blue Ear Wine Cellar, the traditional choice for 3 centuries, the taste of chivalry. Commercialism. Anyway, continuing with the after part. Welcome back, Ivona. You look like murder. Oh shit, I do. Didn't get to mangle every last inch of those knights' sons of bitches' armor. It wasn't your fault. He didn't tell any of us how bad it gotten. With an infection like that, he should have stepped aside months ago. He should have found his way out of Casimir's, followed his dreams, should have gotten to sort out his final days. Olmar Ingra, the Cavalier-Arky Knight noble to a T, despotic, ignorant, no regard for human life. I should have broken all 4 of his limbs in the arena when I had the chance. It's not your fault either, Ashlock. Damn it. And I was right there. Did he say anything in his final moments? You wouldn't want to know. On the contrary,
I wish I could.
Fine. It's not rare at all for infected to pass on with regrets. We'll remember his anger. Sona?
His name was Jamie. He was a competition knight, and then an infected after an accident. He went through a divorce. He had a sweet little girl. He must have been underreporting his condition so he could keep on competing. He needed the money.
But in order to underreport his condition, he'd have to bribe the Knight Association. I found the letters between him and the association staff in his room. It was a bottomless pit.
He was the optimistic type. So optimistic to the point he couldn't even tell the sort of burden he was shouldering. He caught a ripathy. He parted ways with his wife and daughter, but he kept on helping people. Do you still remember? He was always up to the crack of dawn just to look after the kids. He shouldn't have died in this indignity. It goes against the founding intent of our nightclub, but I can't get over it. It was the end of the end, and someone so filled with passion for life, in his final moments, let loose such haunting, unforgettable hate. If this is how things are...
Sona, you've had too much on your mind lately. Careful, you don't get so fixated.
I'm gonna leave all this naughty thinking work to you guys. I'm gonna get strong enough to crush those cantamonious bastards between my fingers, strong enough to clear the way all by myself. The Blood Knight's a fine example, since at least Casimir recognizes a knight these days. That's the path we should take. Don't overthink stuff, Sona. It'll only slow you down.
Sona.
Alright, I get it. We need to step it up and check with Shevchik.
The wind. There was a change in the wind's steering, even if just for a moment. Someone's watching this place, and not just that.
The Armorlets?
They know how to mask their breathing, but if they're after us, they should have attacked by now.
Come out! This is infected territory. No uninfected would ever just wander in here. If you don't...
Alright. Keep the noise down, sheesh. Never dreamt I'd see infected knights around. I haven't been anywhere near Cavallerialki in over 10 years, but the knight bosses and business folk are all out of their minds.
Who are you?
Don't get me wrong, I was in the neighborhood looking for someone, but well, this might just be meant to be. I'm thinking we share some of these same interests, my infected friends, like the Armorless Union.
Sorry, but we've been through some very unfortunate things today. If you really want to chat, try some other day.
Oh? There's some rotten luck indeed. My condolences. Then I can only go somewhere else and try my luck there. Not every day I visit the Grand Knight territory after all. I'll leave you all be then, but we might see each other again very soon.
I found the knight who took Shevchik, the runaway Fartooth knight.
She's mingling with Pinus Sylvestries, of course. Infected knights have a way of sticking together.
What's that noise on your end?
Are you at the bar again?
By the way, I want to point out here that throughout the entire story last year when I was reading through this, I don't think at a single point that I have noticed a detail or the lack of a detail to the armor here of our dear Lazarite Knight Monique. And that is the fact that she pretty much has like a color palette swap of armor with first off, yeah, it's a color palette swap armor sorta design, same design as Nearl Light's design. But just as Nearl Light's design, I originally didn't even pay attention to this little section right here and just dismissed it as piece of like
clothing under or like form to fit armor, you know. But it's literally the same. It's literally the same as Nearl's. Nearl's armor. It's just an open side. I don't know how I didn't notice that last year. I guess I just get too focused on story. I just noticed that preparing for the narration for today's episode, and I was like, wait, that's not armor. Anyway.
Fine. Looking into the Knights more as background, that's a decent excuse. What's the order being issued regarding the infected? What? Didn't the Shevchik case end up like this precisely because they were still officially meeting to decide? They sent a whole drone to bomb him? What point is there in still...
Meanwhile, switching to... Well, geez. Tell me all you like, but the Major's running right now, no matter what you say. They can't be all that... cavalier about deciding. I'm not slacking one bit, trust me. It's true. Hey boss, you got any fries? One moment. Look at which bar this boy is. Cool. Hey, Monique, you still there? Ah, classic. She hung up. Here's your fries, sir. Oh, nice. Appreciate it. Who's the genius who came up with slicing a tatter this thin and frying it too? The world wouldn't be so beautiful without you, whoever you are. Come to think of it, that real standout Margaret Nearl, she graces this place pretty often with Whislash Night, if I remember right. If you came looking for an autograph, you'd better be extra lucky. After all, this bar is for nothing but all retired foggies. Who's that there? Couldn't be an Armless Union spy. God knows, he hasn't run anything. Not like we can frisk him either. Hey, is he seizing you up? Just ignore him. I've been getting the twitchiest eyes since last night. Can't shake the feeling something big's going to happen. Finally hit the right age for insomnia. I'm fit as a fiddle. What do you know? It was the twitches back then that told me we had incoming artillery fire. What the hell's big going to happen to you? Are you going to squeeze olive oil out of your toothpaste tomorrow morning? Merson, I can sense their aura now. It's someone major. I've never had a premonition strange as this before. Here's hoping that they won't make trouble. Here they come, nice and fast too. I'll just let it happen. In an ancient language, the young hunter sets out on his Kagan quest. From dreams he goes towards the shores of gold. This language. What's going on? Kids these days wander into bars singing their own songs. What's the point of the jukebox then? The Nearl's light can't really have stuck to my lonely little bar, can it? But I've never met a knight like you in my time. V? What's wrong? I don't know. It's just suddenly my heart feels a little... Speaking in an ancient language again. Buttbear, Reverend, the last descendant. Why be in a place like this? You know that name? The silent knight looks around, where his gaze touches. The light hides. Answer me, how do you know that name? Hey, this is a friend of yours. Would you like a drink, sir? If you got no business, I have to tell you, we don't welcome armed knights so... we don't welcome armed knights too warmly here. Continuing in an ancient language. Oh, sorry this is. Hold on, don't just up and go.
Cowell, Maria will be borrowing your workshop a while longer. Sophia, slow down. Why did you stop? What's going on?
You are...
Nightmare Knight? What's the rising star of the year doing here? Are you trying to sneak out intel on Maria and Margaret? If so...
Oh, clamorous.
Watch out! What are you trying to do here?
Pegasus, a weak race. Only those Pegasi with blood of flowing gold are worthy rivals. But once the Pegasi abdicated, the so-called land of the Knights, its grasslands turned feeble. You cannot be blind to it, can you, Kuranta? In present Casimir's, you people are all called Knights. And in those pompous arenas, you test your martial skills.
After your little act just now, I'm not finding the will to talk to you all nice and happy. Hold it, boy. I still have things to ask you. The last thing I want right now is to put a bolt through your head.
Not bad. You have the will to fight still. What about you, then?
Me? Like me? I'm just a fan of knights, just in the neighborhood. No need to waste the effort pretending I exist. I'll be fine. I can't do a thing anyway, not a single thing. Tremoriron Marsin, proficient with warhammers. Vogelweide, campaign knight marksman. Vislash knight, not much of a threat since she was injured. Maria, no need to monitor for the time being. But none of that really matters. The Knightsmore came looking for Vogelweide after all. Alright, now, what to do? Will the Radiant Knight come?
This place is not worth even a quick visit. Keeping company with you people makes one uneasy to stand still.
Alright, boy, who do you think you're looking down on? Switching back into the ancient language.
But Bear, in the past you campaigned on the battle sands, fought with your own two hands, yet could only barely manage to protect your homeland.
What's he saying? War. You're a campaign knight. You recognize me?
No, I'm no knight. Nothing so ridiculous. I simply put, war is the only path in which you never shaped your ancestry, descendant. Though you stand here, in this city of steel and concrete, neon flitting through the rain, descendant, I hope you can still remember the breathing of the grasslands, and the vow the Kagan swore.
Kagan? What? You're going on about some stodgy old tale?
I intended, before setting out once again, to seek my surviving brethren in this so-called land of the Knights. It seems now I was simply deluded. No matter. Casimir's frailty spits on Kagan's accomplishments. Someone must set such conduct straight.
Stop right there. You still haven't answered me.
Though now you've lost all that made you, you still at least have a brother. I should answer your question. It was an old veteran who told me your name, and he was ruined in his age, not even able to run. I seek every one of my brethren in Casimir's. No matter how weak their relation, I seek them and nothing more.
Come again? Brethren, in Casimir's. Is that right?
It's no longer your concern, Casimirzian.
Hold it. Nightmare Knight. I've heard plenty about the badly behaved newcomer you were. You should have known we wouldn't let you go so easily after you kindly brandished your sword at us. How about you take off your helmet and we have a nice chat?
Nightmare? Ah, the title these city slaves plastered on me without permission. Ridiculous that knights are so obsessed with these names now. It is only their inherent beliefs and desires to grasp destiny that urge knights to embark on their journey.
The Knight Association won't be happy to look the other way with you picking arguments like this. Do you want to be stripped of major qualifications?
If only vapid knights like you remain in Casimir's, then I really am wasting my energy. What harm would losing worthless qualifications be? However, this Pegasus by your side seems to very much resemble someone I wanted to find.
What? You mean my sister? What do you want with the Radiant Knight?
What I want? Look at all the Grand Knights Casimir elevates as champions. If there remains any opponent worth conquering in this present country, I fear it may be among them. Of course, it may also happen that they're all disappointments. You've gone mad, haven't you? You came here just for a fight.
Switching back to the ancient language.
Mad? Yes, the people who chose to live in the Casimirs of now often tell me so. Which is why we are no longer brethren.
I said stop. Are you just leaving like nothing ever happened?
Given this endeavor is fruitless, I have no need to stay. Goodbye, descendant.
What in the world was wrong with that man, all high and mighty? I can only hope Margaret doesn't meet him in the arena.
Seems he came for a quick look at you then. Is he from your home place? He's a Knight's Mora. What? There's still Knight's Mora alive today? You would have thought they were all in Legends, or they were holding up in Sargon or some sort. So what? What's someone from your grandpa's side doing finding you? He's calling to us.
Oh great, he's back. Hold on while I take a sippy sip here. God damn it, mob. Oh, this is history being made before our eyes. Can Lieutenant Titus Topola lead the Bladehelm nightclub in a breakthrough here and return to his spot as one of the top 16 tyrants? This battle reeks of revenge. All of you watching, I hope your blood's on fire. He's fallen short of the final 16 over and over, but today will Lieutenant Titus Topola have what it takes to overcome himself? You know, it all comes down to one thing: his opponent! In a long and storied history that is the Topola's family's knight's record, only one time, only one opponent has brought such colossal shame.
Damn you! What have you been doing all these years? Why to hell with this? How do I fight now? Do I make some room? No, she... Why is she using a sword spear, of all the things? Most important is that she somehow has me pressured.
Titus Topola shuts his eyes. He considers this a scene of impassioned vengeance, a long brewing opportunity to prove his worth. But all his resentment, visions, and fervor have here and now vanished like smoke. He cannot help but concede. This is no standoff, only a challenge. A challenge striding for the pinnacle.
Since I became the Bladehelm nightclub's frontman, when was the last time I felt like this? A challenge, an advance, climbing to an even higher domain. It makes me want to laugh. The Radiant Knight, are you truly the same woman? To force me back to this degree, and yet you don't feel a hair of pride, not a drop of excitement. Where did the meddlesome you of yesteryear go? Look at you now, so serene, and one could gag.
I don't mean to look down on you, Titus. I never have. However, you've already lost your way. In the hunt that was the melee, at least you were the last one standing. You forced your way free of nothing but a single arm like you had originally done, imbued purely with the desire to win.
You've even learned to preach now. Could it be? Your days of banishment have made you the lecturer's kind.
Titus, why would you let those logos bind you?
Listen, Radiant Knight. Weren't you always prattling on and on about those rancid traditions, urging us to use the most traditional methods to decide victory? A charge, a skirmish, an all-expanding effort. I will trample all that you are.
That knight is composed and steady. Does he plan to decide this with one final plunge? And the Radiant Knight is... Now the Radiant Knight slowly raising her bizarre weapon. Who will be standing victorious after this final clash? What are you waiting for, audience? We have the power to show... You have the power to show your support to these knights, so do it!
Is that the Candle Knight, Drosty? What's she here for?
Maybe she's waiting for someone? Quit staring, hurry up and seek a picture. Who knows if we can hit on some major scandal. The Candle Knight. Madam, I'm very sorry to leave you unattended. Are you looking for someone?
It's alright. It was brash to come without notifying anyone. I just wanted to take a look at how the Radiant Knight cuts her figure. After all, I imagine it's almost over.
Yes, Left-hand Knight Sir Titus Topola lost 10 minutes ago to the Radiant Knight. Sir Titus has incredible strength, but he can't be too helpful after falling into the loser's bracket in the first round.
Indeed.
Did you really come just to meet the Radiant Knight?
I want to see just how different she is now compared to what I've heard in the rumors of knights. All the crowds gone rushing over.
Right. Actually, ever since the Radiant Knight officially returned to competition, she's barely cooperated with our standard service activities. She constantly leaves arenas without saying a word, and scheduled interviews and all sorts of PR items get rejected. It really makes your head spin. Though actually, I think there's even more reporters mobbing the Radiant Knight than usual today. I wonder what that's about.
Sorry. Can you just let me through?
Miss Margaret, what are your views on the infected knight who passed away on the field? Will this affect you in any way? Madam Radiant Knight, do you have anything to say about the Knight Association's recent decision? Can infected actually contribute to an unfair playing field? Miss Margaret, is it possible to reveal anything about the state of your infection? Can you confirm if the Knight Association's measures to keep it confidential are a disservice to the spectators and the other knights? There are reports of you getting close to a few Sarkas women. Who are they to you? Give an explanation, please. Madam Radiant Knight, please respond. Do you intend to become the spiritual leader of the infected knights? Will you be the second coming of the Blood Knight?
I won't be answering your questions.
Can we take that as an admission? Then what relation do you and those Sarkas...
Well met, Madame Nearl. And you are?
The Candle Knight, Drosta. The Candle Knight was waiting outside the arena for the Radiant Knight.
Give the schedule printout to me. That's right, they'll meet each other on the field. Hey, get a snap of this, quickly, snap it!
Maybe walk and talk? I presume you don't want the media haranguing you any longer either. Yes. Right then, let's go somewhere else.
I'm sorry, please keep your distance. The press conference will be held at a later time. Please, can everyone just be patient for now? Patience, please.
Now then. You've been through a lot, Legend of Casimir's. Your banishment has conversely cast much of a veil of mystery on the Radiant Knight, the holy haloed knight, the awe-inspiring golden Pegasus, the hero who returned like a shooting star. I saw as I came close today, you were still very young and disconcerted by such a sudden situation. Margaret Nearl, this is the real living person. Come what may, I thank you for helping me just now. I assume you're a knight too, though I don't believe I know you. It's been a while since someone asked me who I was. More than who I am, they care who they wish I was. I'm very sorry. I haven't been back in Casimir's for too long. Are you concerned that because you don't recognize me, I may fly into a rage? I can tell you're quite unlike anyone else. My, now, thank you for the praise. I am very pleased myself to get to know such a radiant knight. My name is Viviana Droste. Or perhaps you may also call me the Candle Knight. The Candle Knight. No, Miss Droste, thank you once again for your help today. Were you seeking me for any reason? Before long we'll face each other on the field. You are an infected, and one who was once met with banishment. Make no mistake, I have no habit of connecting with my opponents before a match. I came from Lethanian. I am an expatriate, living in this bustling city under an identity I could never imagine. Casimir's recognition is already yours, Miss Droste. I hear the Radiant Knight never approved of the current system of knighthood, and so you were consequentially banished. Do you still feel the same way? The Knights of Casimir's are forgetting their obligation as we speak. Have you ever been to the most destitute corners of Casimir's? Conflict, starvation, infection. The common person suffers enormously, while the knights hide in their cities, making great shows of peace and prosperity. The spirits of knighthood is almost completely lost. It's a legacy for capital to wantonly toy with. How is it not a form of disgrace? I see. It seems it is you who stands as a true knight. But you are still no more than a knight. How about your sister? She's been active on the field for the past while. Has she renounced the path of knighthood?
Miss Droste and Miss Margaret, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. McKee. Thank you for attending to the commotion just now.
So you do have that much self-awareness. With two grand knights such as yourselves, the masses could make each and every move a hot topic. Put the two of you together in front of the media. But never mind all that, there's always some way to sort it out. Miss Droste, you should be preparing for your meeting with the Lethanian noble tomorrow. If you would, I appreciate you avoid exacerbating uncertain factors for the next while.
Such as meeting with an infected knight?
It seems the noble in question has come for your sake, Miss Droste. You have a celebrity status to the Lethanians too. Misko Industries is very willing to assist them with construction planning in Lethanian, but the one putting the final seal on this trade contract is you, Miss Droste.
Of course, it is my obligation. It seems I must apologize, Madam Radiant Knight, that I'm unable to continue my chat with you tonight. It's all right. You gave me a pleasant surprise. Let that Casimir still has knights such as yourself. The next we meet will be on the field. Yes. I look forward to the day. A final word of advice, Madam Radiant Knight. The storm is nearing. The trails will be especially radiant in the starry sky these coming days of ours.
Alright, let's continue on to stage 3. Just as a quick little point of reference, I want to just point out that we only just now finished completely the story on stage 2. I'm pointing this out because I want you guys to look at the timestamp currently of the video. I want you to realize that this story is a very big exception to story length. This is not how usually stories are long. Usually it's maybe, in these narrations, it's maybe like a 20-minute per like after and before part. Here we went for an hour for just one stage. The insanity of this story. Anyway, let us continue on to stage 3, titled Preparing. The person who prepares to climb great mountains and the person who prepares to hunt great beasts may have completely different mental states, but their willingness to face down the unknown is one and the same. So, let's continue. I've been hearing you reported Olmer Ingra to the National Council. Jesus. True. If a fatality during the major isn't enough to warrant punishment, then what does the law even... We're all well aware of how the National Council operates, Malkievich, my man. You had to deal plenty enough with them in your entrepreneurial life, didn't you? Don't speak too long at a loss. You have a trip to the infected intake treatment zone. In a short while, you need to make the Knight Association and a few healthcare firms see eye to eye. Think on the bright side. This work is saving lives in and of itself, isn't it? Don't get too worn out. You'll grind yourself to dust at this rate. If you'll excuse me, I'm off to I'm off to a meeting. Hello, Malkievich speaking. A voice on the phone. Spokesman Malkievich, hope you're having a good day. I am Deputy Justice of the National Council. Your suit has reached a spokesman. Ah, how do you plan to proceed? It is the obligation of a spokesperson to report those knights out of line with the regulation of the of the General Chamber. As such, we will prioritize our considerations your complaints against Brassras Knight. However, matters with said Knight Olmer Ingra are somewhat complex. You should be aware it was not long ago that Ingra's application for bail was given fresh approval by the National Council. To try him again now could have adverse implications for the National Council's authority. We consider, of course, that the spokesperson's demand equates to the Board of Directors' demand, such as is the only interpretation we can make. We would not refuse you. Which is why we are having this call. I understand. What are the National Council's conditions? Oh, conditions? Please, not in those terms. I hope you understand this is to be a perfunctory business call. Mr. Charney suffered banishment external to proceedings. That was beyond many expectations. Even we do not consider Mr. Charney's mistake to be so irredeemable. But regardless, the past is the past. Charney has left the Grand Knight territory and been deprived of his place as the spokesman.
But because of the abruptness of this banishment, we have not been able to appropriately handle the aftermath with regards to all parties.
You...
The Rose Paper Union is a patron of brass rust. That is Mr. Charney's personal handiwork. He's privy to too much. Mr. Malkiewicz, do you understand?
I hear my own heart thumping.
I don't understand. If we can ensure Mr. Charney never again will be an issue for us, then we will be sure to punish brass rust with the full force of the law.
I've never imagined something like this would be happening to me. No, actually I have. I just never thought it would be my decision. So, you mean I should...
I understand the Major has your hands full. I need not be straight away. It need not be straight away. You need only agree that you will have Mr. Charney disappear in a respectable manner, and I will leave at once to make the arrangements. Of course, in the wake of Mr. Charney's disappearance, we may also come to establish a deep bond of reliance.
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't give you an answer right now.
That is very regrettable. We hope you will make your mind up as soon as possible. Sir Brassrust Knight's suspension is by no standards a long one. We welcome your call any time, Mr. Malkiewicz. May you have a wonderful day. Mr. Malkiewicz, are you there?
Come in.
Mr. Malkiewicz, I'm sorry to disturb you. To tell the truth, I haven't been sleeping well lately. I got the notice I'd be emceeing a whole bunch of the Major's events, and I'm honored, but... Can I ask if I've been getting any complaints recently? I heard some people aren't happy with how I perform now, saying they like the old style better. Mob. Old or new style? No.
I think we'll be hard-pressed to get a direct answer from the board. Sorry, Mob. Just proceed with caution.
There's a huge bonus on the line once I'm done commentating for the Major, right?
So long as you don't slip up.
Say, what kind of place is your hometown? The City of Artisans? Huh. Who's asking these days? It's a little old place, used to be pretty famous, but now it's just a tired backward city. That's why I came to the Grand Knight territory. Needed another way to make my life happen. You get me, right?
I'll help you as much as I can to get your word out, Mr. Mob. You've worked very hard. They won't trouble you. They wouldn't. Doctor, what are you looking at?
Infected management procedures.
The infected sheltering treatment. It's an initiative they only started in the last few years. It's got a long way to go. But even for you, Doctor, I say you're better off not prying too deeply. Infected knights have been a thorn in the side of all the great nobles. If Rhode Island wants a premier business contract, then it's important to know when to bite your tongue. By the way, Doctor, you have a meeting in a bit with a spokesman from the General Chamber of Commerce.
Spokesman?
Spokespeople for the KGCC are the cream of the crop from all walks of life, chosen by the board, each with their own duty, handling all sorts of affairs large and small for the Major. They're not the highest tier of authority, but they're channels to it. Seeing how a chamber mouthpiece has asked to meet you by name, I'd like you to be a little careful. Come what may, I will be responsible for your safety throughout your stay in Casimir's. I'll be as close as your shadow. What's that look on your face for now? Do you still not trust me? I can't help but feel a little hurt. But relax. So long as I'm by your side, you'll be perfectly safe. If you have doubts about my loyalty, if I do anything that worries you, then Rhode Island can punish me however you want. Any way you want.
Oh, this woman. For fuck's sake. Oh, by the way, it just now occurred to me, I haven't actually pointed it out in the previous part. But yes, this is essentially the story where we meet Gravel for the first time, and you can imagine this after this story is where she's gonna join up with Rhode Island. I'm pointing that out because not just this story last year was a story that introduced us, or rather reintroduced us to characters that have been with the roster of the game since the very beginning. It is also the story where we actually see them interact with Rhode Island for the first time, and where we actually can observe when and how and for what reason they join up. And I'm also pointing it out because of, I know how crazy everybody is about Gravel, or the majority, or a huge portion of the player base is. She's a fan favorite, of course, but I want to point out one major thing. The Doctor is not the first one who got this smooch. We were only second. Anyway, pardon. Excuse me, is this the room where... Oh, and by the way, for anybody who is new to the channel, every time the Doctor's, the name you input in comes up, I'll usually always use just the Doctor for these narrations, so it's easier to follow with the story and doesn't confuse anything. But yeah, Malkiewicz here addresses the Doctor literally by name, so if you're looking at the screen and are like, why is he not reading the name? That's the reason. So anyway. Excuse me, is this the room where the Doctor from Rhode Island is staying? Ah, Madam Knight, who might you be?
Fourth Order Knight Gravel, serving as a security consultant for the Doctor and the other Rhode Islanders, for as long as they stay in Casimir's. I've been appointed by the Adeptus Praviltively, Mr. Spokesman. Please don't mind me, and continue with your work.
Take a seat, Doctor. And as for you, Miss Gravel, if your post allows for it, by all means relax as well.
I'd rather stand and keep my nice, firm grip on the situation.
Okay. You're here representing Rhode Island? Yep. It's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I'm Spokesman Malkiewicz of the General Chamber of Commerce. Just Malkiewicz is fine. I've been over my information about Rhode Island pharmaceuticals. I don't have any relevant background on it, but keeping up with the fight against orypophy, it can't be easy. We're very much thankful for the contributions you're making to the Casimir's major project. Have you looked over the terms yet? Rhode Island will be acting as a collaborating firm, standing as a unit of the medical group, forming the Casimir's Alliance Medical Organization for the treatment of infected. That is a mouthful. The organization is under direct purview of the Adeptus Praviltively. Of course, the Knight Association and our own people will make every effort to cooperate with your work as well. The Adeptus, the Knight Association, and you? That's right. In the Grand Knight territory, you can't avoid dealing with multiple fronts of power. I believe you'll get used to it. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to speak up. It's my duty to give answers to our foreign guests, Doctor. But I've heard it's the KGCC we should watch out for. Ah, you seem to have misunderstood. My position is spokesman, but summarily, I represent the General Chamber of Commerce itself. The General Chamber is the organizer of the Casimir's Major, as well as an indispensable trade group to Casimir's. Actually, though, the medical group is nominally the Adeptus Praviltively's purview, all funding and movement of supplies is within the Chamber's control. Therefore, we must value the KGCC's intents. But are all Casimirsian really willing to lend a hand to the infected? By all rights, I shouldn't be discussing this with you, but the Infected Knight system was structured by the Adeptus and the KGCC's managing director in concert, fresh in the wake of the Blood Knight's win. Oh, of course, its premise and scope revolves around competition knights. The lady over there isn't accounted for. The army has their own regulations for handling infected. Infected have a special format to go through. It's an additional step we usually call the Wipe Out qualifier to prove their ability to, well, be knights. If there do happen to be promising athletes among the infected, then the General Chamber of Commerce doesn't mind cleaning up their identities for them. Have you seen the papers recently? Even now, quite a few are still opposed to this whole thing. But at least the infected don't need to die in misery. In my mind, that's already a big improvement. Regarding all of you at Rhode Island, the Adeptus prohibitively considers you to be an agency with ample experience in dealing with the infected. This is why we'd like you to take charge of physical examinations on the infected knights and formulate treatment plans over the Major.
Treatment plans, huh?
Can you give me an idea of the scale of the issue?
Scale?
The infected knights total less than 7% of all competing, though that's only the count of infected knights legally registered with the Knight Association. If you count everyone, the knight candidates, trainees, and the infected who were forced to give their nobility under a different identity, it's a number worth worrying about, and that's another reason why we're here discussing this. It seems there's been bad rumors around lately. You can guess how many Casimirians are prejudiced against the infected. I'll be open with you. The original intent of the Alliance medical organization was to appease the populace by way of systematically treating and administering the infected knights. My wording might have struck you as distasteful, but they're all ill after all, and we can't ignore the objective discrepancy. Sorry to put it that way. Of course, if there's anything at all we can help with, you need only ask. At the least, I hope every good knight can go out with a happy ending. Can you tell me about what goes on with the KGCC? Sorry, I have some business to attend to. If I get the chance, I'd be happy to have dinner with you. But, what part of it did you want to know about? It's a business entity representing a country. I have lots of questions.
Sorry, I'm late. Margaret! What happened? What was all the talk of you getting carried off by the candlelight? What did that woman tell you? Did she threaten you? Was the General Chamber of Commerce...
Calm down, Sophia. We were just dodging reporters, that's all.
Really?
The candlelight Droste, huh? Always been an enigma, she has. But she's probably in the top 3 Knights of Casimir's based on popularity alone. The turnover on her birthday each year be enough to build a whole fort.
What sort of knight is she? Why are you so like Maria? Listen, you need to pay a little more attention to the rivals around you.
You're here for me, aren't you?
Sweet-talking me won't get you anywhere. She's an astronomical rising star. People even call her the second Black Knight. She comes from Lithanian, and she has a terrifying talent for arts, an aristocratic upbringing, fine looks, and meteoric fame for the accomplishments. While all that plus her opaque background, adding to the scent of mystery around her, particularly overnight, the Candlelight became one of Casimir's household names and a grand knight. The media is still digging into how she leads her private life.
But she's by no means just for show. She's very young and very fierce. I met plenty of supremely talented casters during my roaming days. Victorians, Lithanians, and infected. Even the most outstanding caster in the world would still would find it hard to challenge the qualities she exudes. She may not be a soldier, but I won't underestimate her.
The Black Knight's a very unusual case of Lithuanian. She was no good at even the slightest bit of arts. It's as though she was born to be martial. That age has come and gone, but I don't think anyone could forget the sheer impression she left, brandishing her massive armaments about. And the Candlelight, on the flip end of the spectrum, she's practically a model Lithuanian knight. We don't know what the core of her art is exactly, but the word candle is absolutely reflective of her equipment's form and her fighting style. Margaret, is she your next opponent?
In 2 days. It'll be a bitter fight, and we don't have long to prepare. Where's Maria?
She's at home resting. Are you smiling?
Am I?
She's excited.
I predicted you would refuse, Miss Droste. But the General Chamber wants no more of the Radiant Knight winning left and right like this. You must ensure at least that she falls to the loser's bracket.
Strange. Wouldn't it have been easier if you didn't give amnesty to the Radiant Knight to begin with?
Well, that's...
The General Chamber of Commerce is never fastened as one.
Please, you must not say anything of the sort. Not where you might be heard. The board of directors is sure to have internal disputes. There is no doubt of that. But if a knight like you were to express such opinions, I worry it'll impact your status.
My apologies. You must have it just as hard, McKee.
Yes, thank you for your concern. In short, I'll be working to mediate for you, even if you're unwilling to use any special tricks against the Radiant Knight. But I'd like for you to understand, though you refuse the board of directors' proposal, they will adopt other methods. The situation may perhaps evolve towards some extreme.
The Armorless Union, you mean? If possible, I'd like for you to prevent such circumstances from taking hold.
Miss Droste, that's far beyond me to promise.
Come to speak of it, is the board of directors so untrusting in my power? As a knight, that really does give me mixed feelings.
No, that's absolutely not the case, I assure you. The Grand Knights at the forefront of the major hall, without a doubt, have the power to rival the apex knights of any country. But opposingly, once you step into this domain, once you near the so-called limit, the gaps shrink in size.
The uncertain elements will only grow. Isn't that so?
Yes.
I have no intent of putting you in a predicament. I know how the board of directors thinks. You can go now. I'll look into this, Radiant Knight.
Good. I'll leave the competition tapes and personal files you need here then. The Radiant Knight seems to have changed vastly since her banishment. I need to warn you of that.
Yes, hence why I wanted to meet her. Margaret Nearl. Despises the knight tournament industry, granddaughter of a war hero, the Nearl family's Pegasus, yet a high-profile champion of the Major too. Said to be noble, yet she gives off the air of a campaign knight. Has she seen war and death for herself?
You have no idea.
No, she must have. Then has she transcended death before? Has she truly dreamed of casting off the fetters and chains? Or has she already strived over a whole new boundary? Margaret, how much she seems like a true knight.
Anyway, we continue with the after part.
Topple the chamber, topple the nobles, death to Olmor Ingra. Topple the chamber, topple the nobles, death to Olmor Ingra. Yep, the infected knights are all cheering here.
Wrath is spreading between us. I get it, but... Wrath. We're all used to that state of mind. But it makes a person short-sighted. We've already suffered for it. Huh. Keep a clear head. It sure ain't my style. You don't need... you don't need to keep it. Just charge ahead with it, that's all. I can roll with that. Sure, I leave the complicated stuff to you guys. And the fights, you leave to me. I've been holding this in forever, Sona. I know. Before Shevchik and Ashley come back, we need to find people who were there. Reporters work. Heck, eyewitnesses work. The more the better. The Great Cavalierki separation. External reports said it was an industrial accident caused by damage from Lithanian extremists to shatter the smooth running of the Major. No city comes that week. More than likely it was everyone dragging each other down. But what's clear is the whole shake-up showed people just where Cavalierki, the city of greatness, was rotting through. Never mind me. You're sort of a famous knight too, aren't you? Won't strutting around like this get you recognized?
Who'd care about a nobody like me while the Major's on? Why are you the one going with me? I thought it'd be the sniper. She's a better fit with this sort of thing.
Justina? She's more liable to get exposed than I am, actually. Not to mention she's already the one who dared to rescue you. No need to keep dangerous elements together, and you're both bone knights. If you did get attacked in the street, it'd be tough to handle.
Isn't it nice? No, just wanted to keep an eye on me, didn't you?
A knight noble wouldn't make peace with the infected even if he clashed with the armorless. Do you really think I'd let my guard down around you?
Rubbish. I worry I'll get infected, and I worry my family will. What's wrong with that? Don't think you're my lone disbeliever, Ashlock Knight.
Really? Then now seems like your best chance to escape Plastic Knight. So long as...
You shut up, you petulant brat. I didn't come to play Rise of the Weak with you. I don't give a damn about your demands, or whether you need your trust in each other to live. I only come to hunt those audacious bastards down. I guarantee the armorless will give me hell, and they'll put my family through worse doing it, so I'm making the first damn move. That's why I'm here now. My wife, child, and no one else. Believe me, I don't have the slightest concern for your ridiculous cause. Don't get so full of yourself, infected. You think the only thing that makes up the city is your enemies and your friends. What a model victim complex. Let me tell you, in Casimir's, in this society of ours, the majority are not concerned with you at all.
It's quiet around here.
This is the general chamber's ground floor. Only nomadic city engineers and maintenance crew are allowed into the structure below us. We'll have to stop here. Relax, no need to be so cautious. No cameras here.
But can you guarantee there's no armorless?
Hilarious. The armorless wouldn't choose a public venues, especially not a hub of the elite like this, to start killing. It'd give the Adeptus Prevailably too much of a hold on them. That's why they draw the line, and we're going to toe that line for all it's worth. Realistically, how many knights does Casimir's have? They've got nothing but ID-type fodder to judge who's who. It's child's play to disguise.
So what is your family going to do?
Aside from my missing wife and child, they've been sent out of Cavalierki already.
The Armless Union has its informants far beyond where Cavalierki ends.
I know that. Maybe if I get another chance, I'll cut back on the recklessness At least until my child grows up and can take care of himself. But the KGCC don't sell remedies for regret. This is where we are infected, so we'd better put the complaining to rest. Damn it. The supermarkets and restaurants are all shut. Why did they set a meeting for this time? If I revise the draft early morning, maybe they won't chew me out so hard in editing. Huh?
Sorry to bother you. You must be pretty beat after a long day of work. Huh, Mr. Reporter?
A knight? Where did you come from?
Easy now, sir. Want a sandwich?
Huh?
Come on, I'm asking because you look like someone dragged you through a car wash.
Please leave immediately, or I'll sound the alarm. Even if you're a knight, this is...
Your phone lines are cut. Here's the deal. Both your neighbors are out far away. And right now, my partners in crime are pretending to be renovation workers, carrying out rush repairs on this building's elevator and entrance.
What in the hell are you trying to do? I don't have any money. I don't know anything.
Easy there. Winding down. You make me out like I'm a robber here. You. There was a report on the Great Cavalierki separation a few years back. You wrote that, right?
Me? With an incident that huge, every outlet in the whole country would be reporting on it. There's no way I didn't write something. But I'm just a net editor. I was still working at the Illuminator then, and by now that whole paper's been bought out.
I know, which is why you only need to answer a couple of questions for us, and then we're gone. Sound good? We just want to get an idea of the situation, and we got you supper on the side.
Is she actually carrying a bag of sandwiches?
You had an interview in your report with a pretty unassuming janitor who said, I thought there was an earthquake and I climbed out of the transport pipes. I was so desperate. Looking at the picture, this is the General Chamber of Commerce Tower, right? During the Great Separation, the electricals were all out, but the chamber has a standalone power source. Can you give me some details about what you saw of things?
Sneaky, sneaky. Reporting in, Lazarite Monique. We have traces of movement from a few targets here. They've split up to investigate something, and the Kuranta wildman Ivona Kurkovska is nearby guarding the infected.
They've set up an infected community, but they're still hoping their own strength, their own violence will protect it from falling apart. Is this how stupid knights have gotten these days?
Right, here's their list of contacts and some calls we've intercepted from them. They're very cunning, steering clear of wireless communication. There's a good chance these messages are all a smokescreen.
Forget anything else. They're investigating the Great Cavalierki separation.
How do you...
If your deductions are so convoluted next time, either you're dead or you're out of a job. Learn a thing or two.
Right, please give your instructions.
With Wildmane Knight left alone, what instructions could you even need?
Sorry, I'll give the order to surround.
If anything happens with the media or Adeptus Prohibitively, will your heads on the chopping block even make up for it?
I can't...
Forget it. I'll go myself.
You don't need to go to the trouble.
It's not right to put off that big of a maneuver before any official orders come from up top. Taking out an infected knight's nothing difficult, but it has to be silent. No hide nor hair. Can any of you do that?
Well...
If you get it, then zip it. And while it's zipped, drag Roy back for me. They could have picked anyone to keep watch on the Knights Mora. Why waste a Lazarus time on the clock? Seriously. Target confirmed. Wildmane Knight Ivona Kurkovska. date, weather, present state of mind. But this isn't an official assignment. I shouldn't need to record so much detail. And no need to kill too many infected. It'll be terrible on the 1,000,000 I get infected myself. Anyway. Wonder what that sweet smell's about. Flowers? Who's planting flowers here? Beep beep. What? Who knew you could do this stuff too, Justice? Beep beep.
Swoosh! Losing a rubber arrow, Justice Knight knocks over the plastic water bottle beside it, fresh water hydrating the flower pot in front of them.
Beep beep. Justice, you're amazing. Did you learn to do this yourself? Beep beep. What? Whoa, watch out. The wall's coming down. Beep beep. No questions, move. Beep beep beep. Couldn't confirm my position, so she immediately began vacating. Solid intuition. But this is too slow of a pace. I'll be seeing you.
So we just came back like this, and the Union shouldn't be randomly waltzing into the General Chamber's building, should it? Of course we can't logically, but you can't ignore a Lazarus' orders. I didn't have a boss this annoying back when I was a merc. Wouldn't it be a little unsafe leaving Monique alone in the infected ghetto? You're worried about her. What us? What, us? Worried about a Lazarite? Well, the Lazarites are people too, and she looks pretty young. You've never seen the Lazarite get serious firsthand. You'll want to make sure to prepare yourself then. Have you heard how it goes? Platinum needs to be someone with the leadership to guide the team, the brains to plan out the big picture in the most involved operations. As for the Lazarites, they say the ones of the past, whether one or two, were all chosen because they could kill any one target in Casimir's. You're kidding, right? Any? Including all those campaign knights? Well, that's lost to history. I'm not sure if it's true or not. They say even a few campaign knights leaders were... Oh, hey! What's got you two so excited? Roy, sir. You know something? People will suspect the Armorless Union showing up publicly at the KGCC. It might be comedy to you, but you guys should take a guess. There's a reason they didn't let the Union wander in and out of here. Why? It's not like that. Sir, this is a misunderstanding. Monique wanted us here to notify you. Otherwise, we would never... Why so tense? What, you scared I'm gonna eat you? As long as you understand, Monique's carrying something out in the infected ghettos, and she wanted us to inform you. Infected, huh? Alright, got it. Thanks for the notice. Now get out of here quick. It smells of sterilizer everywhere. But the coffee downstairs is pretty good. You can steal a cup before you go. See you. Hope you have fun with work. Where's the bathroom? I told you to prepare yourself. I'm lucky enough I was a merc, but most others who switch jobs to join us are in for a little roughness. Just write it out. Am I still alive? Thank you, Windows. Wow. Hopefully that spooked everybody as well. Jesus Christ. You are. Now get it. Now get it. Now you get it, don't you? We shouldn't get mixed up with their work. And Monique wouldn't mess up. Huh? Another white shot? What's the deal?
What is force? I can't clock the position. Is the enemy messing with me? Damn it! Is this all I can do? Run? Missed. You...
Hey, miss. Don't give me that look. I just wanted to ask you about something. Am I disturbing you? If you're not up to answer, I'll go on my way.
What is it?
Ah, thank you. Actually, I'm looking for someone. Lazarite Monique. It's a pseudonym, of course. Heard of her, if you don't mind me asking.
As it happens, I'm looking for someone too.
Oh? Sorry to confess, I'm fresh off the boat here. Can't say I recognize all that many heads or tails yet.
That's alright. He's a plenty infamous bounty hunter. Seeing him once would be enough to remember.
Oh? Go on, do tell.
The Guildmaster, Tolan Cash. 13 counts of murder, 8 of robbery, 23 of disturbing the peace, 6 of illegal originium dealing, and on top of it, conspiracy on one count. Also, most importantly, he's gotten in my way of my work twice now. I hate people who get in the way of my work. Despise them.
Well, well. Say, ever think you've gotten the wrong idea about him?
All of us turn a blind eye to the bounty hunter's influence by default, but they shouldn't have organized, let alone grown large scale.
That's not fair to say. With Flame Lung and Yellow Smog suddenly AWOL, poor brothers, that big of a territory, without any boss, of course, there's gotta be an organization. Work needs to go smooth. Go ahead. Calls always come at the worst time, don't they?
It's me. I'm working. Got it.
It seems you're leaving. What an awful shame. Tell Miss Monique I said hi.
Likewise then. Tell Tolan this for me. Tell him that slippery little clown face of yours spoils my appetite.
We really had a close shave there, Kuranta. She might not catch up to me, but I'm sure she'd win the fight.
Who the hell are you?
I'll introduce myself again. Tolan Cash, just a bounty hunter. I come in good faith. That's my real name, you know. My old daddy gave it to me before he drank himself to the other side. True story.
Bounty guy, just now. That was the Armorless Union's.
The Armorless Union's Lazarite. Put away any funny ideas of chasing her. You'd all be dead for then. But if even the Lazarite's showing up to this party, that means I'm in the right place.
You're mad off the mark if you want treasure. Only the infected, homeless, and penniless living out the days here. What are you here? What are you looking for? Huh? Bounty hunter?
The will to rebel. I came on this informant's info, see? Heard you guys were planning something real extraordinary. I don't want you to jump the gun now. There is no traitor in your gang, and I can tell you they didn't have the loose lips to blab to me. But when the city moves forward, it sucks everyone into the wake. You can't just make believe it's only heroes and villains in the Grand Knight territory, right?
I'm not Sona. I'm not all good at chewing this stuff over. But seeing how you just saved my life, I guess I can show you to someone or other.
Now that's what I call a life saving.
Beep beep.
Oh, what's this? A takeout card?
Take out my ass. This is my pet, my pride and joy. You watch what you say.
Now it's really have gotten interesting.
I suddenly understand why I hate seeing Tolan Cash so much.
Why is that?
Because he's too much like you.
Are you calling me out? Are you telling me I'm giving these two men the same kind of mannerisms in their voice and making them act kinda playful out because they look like they do, and I'm just doing a little bit of a spin on their voices? Are you calling me out and breaking the fourth wall, Monique? Sorry.
Get on with it. What did you interrupt me for?
You've been too hard at it lately. Isn't it nice relaxing every once in a while?
I'm heading back to work.
No, nuh-uh. You've been getting more and more workaholic lately. See, the curtains pulled open on the Radiant Knight's major adventure, and I'm not exactly resting easy with just platinum on the case. And the Adeptus prevailably has been scarily quiet this year. Usually they'd be firing opening shots against the board of directors by now, but with all their documents and meetings.
And this is your grounds for shirking work?
Not entirely. The three above are having us keep this in check lately. To be strict about it, the infected are creating an opportunity for us. Darksteel sees that to eliminate the last of those who know what really happened and shift the blame to the infected. What we should be doing now isn't harming the infected. When it comes to it, in fact, we even ought to give them a little help from the shadows. But we can't be too obvious about this, so I'll let you enjoy the hassle of finding them, seeing it through to the end.
Work really does shift under your feet when it wants.
We're on the board of directors' dime, after all. All we can do is be their people. Previously, of course.
What's the Knightsmora business going? How's the Knightsmora business going?
Not much to be concerned with, just a moron tracing the footsteps of old-timey legends. We'll fix up a match for him to face one of the Grand Knights later. After the Knightsmora reenactment, things get enough buzz, it could be dumped. That's Knights for you, after all. A Knightsmora orphan living in the present day. It's gonna be hard on the soul. But Bear, what are you following me for? You can drop the tone with me like you're on your victory lap. There's youth in your voice. Is there? Odds are you're younger than me. Are you always so aimless? Don't you have anywhere to go? A titled major knight being a tramp in Cavallerielki, really? Cities disgust me. Walking helps clear the mind. Kurantas always walk the grasslands. It ain't no grassland here. It should be. And you just go on like this? How long has it been? 10 years or so. Or however many. I can't even remember now. But you did get a lift to reach Cavallerielki, right? You crossed Casimir's on foot. Rubbish. You've really never stopped before. Don't you ever need to rest? But Bear, do you know of the Kagan quest? What? It was once the Jesus Christ, how do you pronounce this again? Apotheosis? Apotheosis. It was once the apotheosis of a Kuranta's glory. At the time a warrior comes of age, in order to manifest their glory as a Kuranta, in the company of their mother and father, they would make a promise. From the place they were born, they would leave for a distant site of trial, taking only a weapon gifted by their parents. They would go on foot. A site of trial? The site of trial is decided by themselves. True courage must be recognized by themselves. The way of the courageous spans 1,000 folds of the earth, while the cowardly only dared chose the forests before their own door. A distance or lack of it was by no means the sole judge. Some brave brought back the heads of prey, some brave cut off their enemies' ears, some brave were empty-handed, but bountiful with pure gold and spices. Our forebears never once forgot this tradition. This was proof of valor. Countless Knights Mora soldiers walked the Kagan quest as the start of their long journey. So, right now you're completing your rite of adulthood alone. Where's your parents? Since I can recall, I had no one at all. But Bear, I'm not ashamed to admit, to be with you, one of the same blood, no matter how distant, consoles me somewhat. At least it lets me take in that, in this age-twisted proceedingly, my past brethren are still alive. Alright, are you gonna hang around the Grand Knight territory like this for the time being then? Cavallerielki, I learned from the travelers. This place is the center of the land of the knights, Casimir's glory. Yet now I see, it's no more than a rotting fort, trampling the glory, the honor that should shine esteemed. Once my brethren were trialed in their Kagan quest by beasts and catastrophes, and what I face now is a forward-roaring, grassland-crushing metal titan. Flashback. Champions. They're the pinnacles of modern Casimirsian knighthood, the strong that garner all attention. Dwelling on their image amounts to nothing. Attempting to debate the attitude of the knight of now comes off as utterly foolish. Only through one victory after another can it be understood just how Casimir's postures itself in the modern day. It happens to block my Kagan quest, so I will conquer it in order to prove my faithness. Each knight in the Cavallerielki has their own reasons to fight. Maybe many of the ignorant beyond Casimir's would criticize the modern knight competitions as defying tradition, renouncing glory. But we're not of that mind at all. The times are changing, industry and finance are expanding. Do you honestly still want the people putting stock in the traditions of killing? Rampant duels paid with blood in modern society. No, the General Chamber of Commerce finds it very hard to sanction such things.
Cities springing up, engines rumbling as they turn. This is an age of rapid progress. Yes, wildly unlike it was over a decade ago, Mr. McKee.
Madame Droste, the General Chamber expects your certain victory. The infected knight crisis is intensifying. Taken as a locus, the Radiant Knight will extol it, and the board of directors will lose great face over it.
I understand.
I don't mean to trouble you. I'm guessing you still won't accept our proposal, will you? But I hope you'll realize you won't actually need to do anything.
McKee, I want to decide a victor between me and the Radiant Knight, fair and square.
Pardon?
I won't need to do anything. These last few years, I've always been solicited as such. McKee, as a knight, enacting itself is one brand of action. Can you sympathize with that? Am I not even allowed the satisfaction of a single request anymore, Mr. McKee?
No, if you really are so determined, I'll try and talk over the Knights Association and the other spokesmen. But can you tell me why? You have no pre-existing relationship with a Radiant Knight, as far as we know. What makes you so insistent?
Why is the General Chamber so focused on her? Though she's of a famous family, she is no more than a knight once banished, in the end. Tell me, just what is the KGCC so focused on?
This isn't something you and I should discuss right now, Madame Droste. But, alright, behind this affair, it's a constant between the Adeptus Provildaevli and the General Chamber. In fact, neither the KGCC nor the Adeptus ultimately care too much who takes the championship. Do you understand? I've currently obliged with you. I respect your way of thinking, but your steadfastness is harming the KGCC's outlook towards you.
I'll explain to the nightclub myself.
Our Lithanian visitors wouldn't want to see any mishaps befall you in the arena either.
Mishaps? Losing to an infected champion, you mean? I've no illusions of the way they work. The Candle Knight Viviana Droste is celebrated so because she is a Lithanian. A Lithanian finding success in the Casimir's night competitions makes them beam. And since the Black Knight, it's a glory they've taken for granted and became a substitute for the Black Knight by luck, no more. No more than vanity.
It might be vanity of them, yes, but their support of you is authentic. The KGCC is hoping to sign a trade agreement with the nobles at this moment, and your impact cannot be ignored.
McKee. Two knights meet in a contest, hoping to fight a fair battle. Is this something so inherently forbidden?
No, you're right. You're right.
Casimir's, Lithanian, the home that birthed me. In childhood I imagined that the place I lived was one where romance and glory could coexist. I simply want to see with this special case, this Radiant Knight, see who comes out on top. At least this once I won't need to consider how to win beautifully. I only need to consider how to claim victory. Is that not amiable?
The outcome won't change. The KGCC will find some way to force the Radiant Knight's loss. Losing to you was the most appropriate decision to make.
You support them?
In order to prevent the situation from degrading further, in order not to give the Adeptus more excuses to revolt you, yes, I support this decision.
McKee.
Yes?
I'm somewhat disappointed in you.
My deepest apologies, madame. But I believe it is the best option. My deepest apologies.
There's a celebration feast tonight. I'll need to be on my way soon.
Right. May you travel safely.
McKee. I merely simply want to be witness to this age. In this age, to a knight's radiance. True radiance. She's just as if a verse. Nothing more than that. Farewell.
A verse, was it? Perhaps. But those poems you read, I've never once actually managed to make sense of one, Viviana.
Mr. McKee, did you order flowers? The doorman's gotten a bouquet of marigolds and says you ordered them.
Yes. It was your anniversary recently, wasn't it?
Oh, it was... You remember that?
It was my gift to you. It's my gift to you. You've been a credit to your job. Don't forget to go home and spend time with your family.
Wow, Mr. McKee, thank you. Thank you so much.
That's fine. If you've got nothing important, go on and sign off a little early. You can't live without treasuring life.
He got shot down. McKee down. McKee down.
Oh, Mickey. Oh, Mickey. Never change. Anyway, this will be it for today. Oh my god. I just looked at the recording clock. 2 hours on the mark. Holy shit. Anyway, this will be it for part 2 of this narration. It feels like a crawl, but as you can see, the story is very vast and very dense, and has a ton of moving elements and a ton of characters to boot. And I need breaks. Anyway, thank you all for watching and listening to this narration. I hope you had a good time, as much as I did. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. It would help a lot. If you enjoyed this narration, please consider also leaving a like. It helps the video being recognized in the algorithm. If you like the video, the algorithm likes the video and promotes it. That's just how it goes, sadly. But anyway, thank you all. I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you tomorrow in the next part. Until then, bye-bye.